start to open the debate, I'm calling upon the first proposition speaker to open the call debate here.
Okay, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, I go by he, him, and I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this motion that we have is our side of the house. Our side of the house opposes the stigmatization of outsourcing elder care in Asian societies. Now, our side of the house will define some of the things. First, the stigmatizations. It means that we're looking at something negatively, in this case, the elderly. The second one is outsourcing elder care, means that the elder care community is being taken care of by someone else. And the last one that I'm going to define is the Asian societies. It means that it is in the Asian countries or in the Asian communities. Now, I will give some of my arguments. And first of all, the government believes that taking care or of the elder care community would increase the productivity of the people. And the general point upon why the government proposes the motions, first of all, first sub-argument, the connection between outsourcing elder care in Asian culture or Asian societies. And my argument here is that our side of the house believes that by the current status quo shows that the daily Asian cultures or citizens or people still believes in the mindset that children had been taken care of by their parents or by the elderly in their time growing up. The children must repay the things that their parents have done to them once they are older. Now, which is what usually happens in the Asian societies. Now, second sub-argument is that then panels, we believe that, or the government believes that by proposing to the motion, it could actually bring productivity in Asian societies or the children, because by outsourcing elder care or supporting outsourcing elder care will help the children be more focused in their jobs or their work. Therefore, it could help them to be more productive. Now, I'm going to talk about some of the actors that are being included or being involved in this case. First of all is the government. The second of all is the elderly. Third of all is the people who will, of course, take care of the elder care community. Then the last one is people or the citizens that will work, or the children of the elderly. Then I'm going to talk about some of the benefits. First of all, I'm going to talk about the benefits for the government itself. The benefits is that more people working means that there will be more productivity, and therefore there will be more wages so that people that will work could buy things in the market, and they will make the economical wheel be more faster, and therefore making certain country have better economical environment. In this case is the Asian communities or Asian countries. The second one is the benefits for the elderly themselves. Okay, the elderly or the parents would love their kids to have the best life, the best kind of community, and by that it means that their children working and be more productive will be more beneficial, because if they just lay down and not be productive, it wouldn't be beneficial, and the elderly would feel like a burden to their own children, and of course we wouldn't want the elderly to feel that. Now, the third benefit is for the people who will take care of the elder care community. Of course, by taking care of the elderly, it would open up to more job vacancies, and of course, by having more job vacancies, they could provide for their family, they could get more money, and with that, they could provide for their everyday necessities. And again, by having more job vacancies, it would increase the economical situation of a certain country, in this case, the Asian country. Now, the benefits for the people who will work, there are some. First of all is they will have more productivity. Of course, when they're working, when they are having a job and not just lay at their house, of course they will be more productive, and they could even increase their own social skills and other kind of skills. The next one is by working, they could increase their economical status. Of course, people who will work, they could get money, and that money could be used for their parents, in this case the elderly. And taking care of the elderly doesn't always mean that you have to stay at home. You could work from your office and also other kind of things. And taking care of them means that we have to have the money, and we need to have the money by working. And may I remind you, panels, that working doesn't always mean that we need to work at home. There are other jobs that requires you to be at the office. Next, that I would talk about is they would help themselves to be more active in their work environment. Now, panels, I will talk about the mechanism. First of all, how we would make it that we need to educate public that outsourcing elder care is not something negative, and that is not bad to do. Opposition might say that the government are straight up claiming that the young people should not care of their parents, and actually, panels, this is why we have our second mechanism. The second mechanism that I'm going to talk about is still making sure that there are certain time where the workers still have time to spend time with their families. Of course, people are not working 24/7, they will still have their free time, so they could balance between their work time and their time with their families. Okay, panels, it is important to work, and we need to know that people are not working 24/7, meaning that they could still spend some time with their family. Now, okay, again, from what I said, by proposing or by agreeing to this motion, we could first have more productivity, we could increase our economical status, our economical behavior. Then, of course, we could increase our social skills. Yeah, by increasing our social skills, meaning we could increase our social skills by being in the work field environment. Why? Because if we just stay at home, we are not being really productive than when we're in the office or something like that. And next, the government would also have benefits. Again, by people working, it would make the economical wheel be more faster, and it could benefit not only like the people, not only the elderly, but also the government. And this is very important. Why? Because remember, we're living in because the government needs some kind of things for us, and we're giving it to them. And by working and by giving something to them, by having work, it could increase our productivity and our economical will. And of course, we need to take our care of the elderly, but by working at home, it could increase like the mindset of the elderly that they're being a burden to their family. And of course, we wouldn't want that. So the last one is we could also increase job vacancies to those who are working for their family. And of course, it could benefits for everyone. And with all of the stated arguments, our side of the House agrees with the motion, and with that, proud to propose.
Thank you for the speech. Go to the people from
Okay, so panels, we're from the opposition team. Before I'm starting to deliver some of our arguments that we have been discussed, I would like to rebut some of the arguments that have been delivered by the first speaker from the proposition team. So the first speaker from the proposition team, he said that he didn't really give us more explanation, like clearly about the job frequencies. Like he didn't give example of a job frequencies that could be done by anyone while they could be also taking care of the elder people. And I would also rebut the statement of the first speaker from the proposition team, saying that not every people work 24/7 in a day. But we all know, we can deny that in Asia country, especially we know in Indonesia, there's some people that they can work even. They can add the time for work, like in the workspace. Maybe they get an extra time, extra task, or extra duty from their boss, so they could stay in working place to finish their work. And we all know that especially in Asia, we all know that some big cities is always have high transportation. Have like transportation, where we all know that not every people could have easily mobilization when they want to move from one place to the other place. So I think we from the opposition team think that it's not that easy to everyone to get mobilization to move from one place to the other place. Especially we know that most people always work like 9 to 5, and from 9 to 5, and at the evening, we all know that to get transportation to making our mobilization getting easier is not that easy, because we all know that when we talk about mobilization, especially we live in Asia, especially in Indonesia, especially if we live in a big city, that will be a hard thing to do, because there's so many high level of transportation. And I will also rebut the statement from the first speaker from the proposition team, where he said that we could increase our social skills when we get to work. I mean, what is the correlation between increase our social skills when we get to work, and the correlation between we have to taking care of the elder people? You just mean that we just want to increase our skills level by just staying for a long time in work, and didn't want to taking care of the elder people, because we're just focusing on increase our skills level on work. Okay, so I'll start to deliver some of our argument from the opposition team. So we from the opposition team is absolutely agree with the motion. This House opposes the stigmatization of outsourcing elder care in Asian society. So me as a first speaker will be talking about the impact of the stigmatization of outsourcing elder care, where we are simply agree that elder people don't really have much power to do everything to survive their life. Especially we all know that now we are living in a globalization era, where almost everything is done with digitals, or always related to digital stuff. Where I'm very sure that we all know that not every elder people can use all the things in the right way, because they'll get confused on how to operate it. Especially like I said before, we're now living in a globalization era. For example, there's still those elder people who are even get confused or even frustrating on doing even a little thing, like they'll be struggling to buy something through an online shop, like through Shopee. They will be get struggling. So we from the opposition team absolutely agree to oppose the stigmatization of outsourcing elder care, especially in Asian society. My second speaker will be talking more about the cases of today's motion. This House opposes the stigmatization of outsourcing elder care in Asian society. So one of the causes that bring one of the most contribution that related to our today's motion is about the mindset of the elder people that living in nowadays, where most of them still stuck with the way of thinking like from the old-fashioned way. So when they cannot adapt to this modern era, or modern way of thinking, they will struggle to do anything just to survive their life in this modern era. And also, my second speaker will be talking more also on the impact that will happen from the social factor, where we as the young generation don't contribute to have elder people on doing something, especially we live in this globalization era, we'll get a bad social outlook from the other people. Especially we all know that we live in Asia, within Asia country, especially when we talk about Indonesia, we have, like most Asian people, especially Indonesia, have a very judgmental personalities. So what will they think, or what will they say when we, as the younger generation, didn't taking care of the elder people, especially if those elder people is part of our family? Okay, so my third speaker will also sum up our team cases, and will also adding bring more example to strengthen our argument. So we from the opposition team state that we absolutely agree to oppose the stigmatization of outsourcing elder care in Asian society. I think that's all I could deliver to you. Thank you so much.
Okay, before I begin my speech, I prefer to be called by she, her, and I might involve some examples but all of the examples I'm using are not to offend anybody, it's purely for this debate. Thank you. Starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Okay, panels. Starting my speech, I would like to, first of all, give some rebuttal about what the opposition team had to say. First of all, they stated, what we catch first is that they stated that about mobilizations and that it is hard for some people to move from a certain place to another place. But we would like you to note, panels, that what we're talking about here is Asian community and not just Indonesia. When we're talking about Asian community, we knew that there are many countries in Asia, and we're not only talking about like the Southeast Asians or the Asian community, we're also talking about China, Japan, Korea, which were, if you notice, panels, they were already a developed country, and things was much easier in there. So what we would like to note you that it seems like opposition team are trying to generalize their point mainly in Indonesia when we were offering you a solution globally for all Asian countries and not only in Indonesia. And second of all, we believe that our main point here is that people could be more productive by stepping out of these, what they stated, that it is true that in several Asian countries, there are a mindset of people that likes to take care of other people's lives so much. But we believe that if what they stated is mainly means that they support people to stuck in that mindset that, okay, because society thinks that kids have to stay at home and watch over their parents because their parents have taken care of them, means that in the future, we would never grow if we keep on stuck in this mindset, which is why we offers you that if these kids, if we, as the government, we believe that when more people step out of this mindset and actually go to work instead of stay at home and taking care of their parents, then there would be more productivity, which is what have been stated from my first speaker, that our whole main point here, panels, is that when we believe that the youth should not see outsourcing elder care as in a negative way, because then take an example of Japan. In there, so their society believes that women should stay at home taking care of the family and taking care of the children. Well, if everybody or like many countries implemented this mindset and nobody actually wanted to step out of this mindset because they think that, oh, this is what the society thinks. If we step out of it, then they're gonna think that we are bad because we do not take care of our elders. Well, we should know that the highest population in the world is women. And if like most Asian countries believes that women should stay at home and then taking care of the family, then we would just decrease the amount of people who would go to work. And next thing is that there are many types of work. We were talking about workforce in general and not just certain work. And you should know that there are holidays. So going to work does not mean that you will abandon your parents, but we meant that by making public know that it is not something negative to step out of like the mindset of society and actually go to work, and like leaving your parents to be taken care of by someone else is not a negative thing. Because then again, if they went to work, they actually went to work and then they get wages, it's not only benefiting them. This is also one of our major points here, panels, because why do we state it that this creates mutual benefits to government, to the younger people and like the elders? Because first of all, when they step out of the work, they step out of like these mindset and actually go to work, means that they would need people to take care of their parents, means that there would be more job vacancies open for the people who will take care of the elderly. So they get money, and then the people who step out of for work, they get money, and then the money they use also pays for the people who take care of the elders. Therefore, it creates mutual benefits between either the younger who went to work and then the people who stays at home taking care of the parents. That's one of the benefits. Second of all, they stated that kids should just stay at home, and then people, or like these people should just stay at home again, because like that is one of the mindset of these days, and that people in usually Asian communities have quote unquote judgmental personalities, and that they would judge other people. But like if then again, if people do implement this mindset and like just stay at home, it means that the people who are already working in the work field where they take care of the elders would lose their jobs. And we would like to ask you that if the opposition could at least give us clarity of what would they do for these people who would lose their jobs, and like what are the future of these quote unquote people who would just either stay at home to take care of their parents. Because you see, if the case is about a family who had several children, then okay, fine. Some of them could go to work, and then the younger or like the elder or like decided by the family could stay at home taking care of the parents. But if we were talking about a family with only one child, are you saying that the children should just stay at home to take care of their parents? Because we know there are many...
We never actually stated that people children should just stay at home. We will just keep trying to make up stories. So that we will try to ask you, how would they lose their job? It's not like they're going to like abandon the job completely just to let them take care of their parents. Thank you.
May I ask to repeat the question?
Okay, once again, we never actually stated that children should just stay at home and then just take care of their parents all the time. And then my question is, how would they lose their job? You stated that people that already have their working field will lose their job if they keep taking care of their parents. Then how?
We're talking about how would they lose their job. The people who are we talking about here that would lose their job is the people who work in these outsourcing elder care, the people who work to take care of the elder care. Because then, if more people means that the opposition team were trying to say that it's better to for children to stay at home and work for taking care of their parents, means that the more people gonna implement this mindset, the more people who actually are out there paying for other people to take care of their elders would come back at home to take care of their parents, means that these people who are already working in that field would apparently lose their jobs. And which is why, like what stated from my first speaker, we believe that the benefits here is really good for all sides, because it's not only benefiting the people who are already the children who are going to the work field more, but also going to benefit the government, because then more people are working, more people are getting money, and also benefit the people who are already working in that field. And with all of the argument being said, proud to propose. Thank you.
Before I start my speech, I would like to talk about a specific group, especially other people, and it might be sound static, but it's just for the sake of the debate. Okay then, panels, I will start my debate in 3, 2, 1. Before we dive into our argument, I want to give some rebuttal to the government chief. Firstly, you say that we are just talking about like Indonesia and it's not relevant to the motion and the status we given. And we are going to ask you, is Indonesia not part of Asia? Panel do realize we brought Indonesia as a status quo because it's actually one of the most cases on this motion happens in Indonesia too. And second, we never actually say that children should just stay at home. It's not like you're going to let your children just stay at home time, years and years, and just like, oh, I'm just going to stay at home, I'm just going to take care of my parents, I'm not going to work anymore. No, we never say that. And in the status quo, they mentioned that Japan, they have applied women should stay at home, while we did not even say, like, we did not specify on a specific individual. We told you that this will apply to everyone who have parents, everyone who have elders on their families. And do you realize, dear panel, they never actually mention what age range that they mean on elders. They never actually say like what kind of age, or is it 42 or people who can, but we have actually stated it clear that elders that we mean here, elders is not the productive age and cannot work anymore. And also, they're just rotating on one like argument. They'll just keep saying that if people keep implementing this mindset, then people will like lose their job. People will do this, blah blah, whatever whatsoever. And however, looking down on elders, especially in Asian societies, is one of the many ways to lead to an argument. Just because people are older doesn't mean that you are able to like let them work by themselves or do some things by themselves. As one of the good ways, maybe you keep thinking like it's one of the good ways to keep them productive. It's one of the good ways to like make them healthy. But what if they just can like they don't have much more energy to work like they used to as they were younger? And then also moving to our arguments, other people, we have stated before that older people will have different mindset than the younger one. Especially in this generation, we have been developing and also improving, and elders might not be able to like adapt to its environment, to the one that they're living, their surroundings, and we see this as a bad thing. Why? Why do you see this as a bad thing, dear opposition team? You might be asking us. Well, by them not being able to adapt in an advanced generation, it is hard to fully ensure that none of them will like get injured or they will like will not. You can't even just guarantee that they will not be thinking like how they are when they were back in the old days. For instance, keep this. Think of this. You're letting your grandma to do things by themselves. And of course, it'll go bad because her mindset is not really adapted to fully into her surroundings yet, especially in this new generation. And by this meeting, we do not tend to like look down by saying that elders are not able to work. No, we are not. But we are saying that it's better for not to let them retire, let them rest in their old days. And especially those who have criteria that what I've stated before. And instead, we can like slowly help this elder to maybe adapt to his surrounding by teaching them what's this, what's that, and whatsoever. And moving on to my second point, society, we have mentioned it before, society tends to judge people, especially if you keep like letting your elders work and do everything like such house chores, working just to pay for the family funds or anything. People might be thinking, are you heartless? Are you careless? Why do you keep your elders to like get tired just to work for you? You're getting lazy. You're not even in it, contributing on something that you should be doing as a child. And if you look back and think like elders can take care of themselves, society knows about it, will start judging. That's what I've been saying. And who is going to be affected? Well, of course, you and your families and many more, especially your surrounding, will start judging you. It should be our obligations, dear parents, to take care of our parents, of our elders, and nurture them just like how they used to do it. It is crucial to observe the elders' action and their actions. And after this, you might be asking, how is society going to know? Simple. Imagine this. Your friends are coming over to your house and suddenly your grandma is like trying to handle everything by doing the chores, by doing this, and that, trying to tidy up your room, trying to tidy up, clean everything. And then you're thinking like, it's going to be good for their productive, it's going to be good for their health. They're going to be like, they won't be as sick if we keep them rest over and over. But no, people will start thinking like, are you crazy? Why do you let your grandma do everything? And people will judge you like as arrogant. People will judge you like, why are you so careless? But in our world, no, thank you. We have a person that relies on the elders, such as letting them work, doing all the chores, do everything that eventually affects their health. So it will not make them productive, dear panels, but it'll just make them sick. It'll just make them tired, and then they will like get a lot of sickness that come over when they are older. Therefore, productiveness isn't always the answer to this motion. You can't just expect the elders to like work and think it's safe. What if they get injured? What if they get injured like in the middle of working? Notice, dear panels, the arguments that the government has delivered is not even strong enough. You can still let elders put, and they also mentioned something about building more connectivity, but you can still like letting elders build more relation, even just by letting them making friends, but not like working overtime just to pay for your family, just to let you live. No. And for instance, there's a limit of age in Indonesia. There's a limit of age of productiveness, wherein like somewhere around 60 up to 80, there's no more productiveness that should be allowed for them to work more. The government should like offer a solution which they have failed to explain. And also, people, especially elder people, should retire. You might be asking, why? Why do you keep insisting on why other people should retire? Why elder people should rest? Well, because it's already their children, they're already old, and you're growing up. Growing up, you have a far more better mindset than them because you're still you're younger than them, and you can adapt quickly into your surroundings. Don't you have like a flick of embarrassment toward your elders if you feel like, oh my God, I'm just going to take care of them, but they're still going to work for me? No, no, and no. This could also affect the youth's mindset and personality. Wherein, if in our world, if in their world, if they keep letting the elders to like work and then they just take care of them, they will think like, I'm lazy to work. I'm just going to let them work for me. I'm not going to work eventually. And they will become like careless, lazy, and all, etc., etc., etc. And also, panels, you can't just let the elders work a lot. They won't have, like I've mentioned before, they won't have like a lot of energy, stamina, and they won't be able to like work and take care of the things of the surrounding like they used to before in their younger days. Just like and our solution, and that is for me proud to propose.
Starting my speech in 3, 2. Okay, now panels, I will myself as the third speaker of the proposition team. I will be talking about rebuttal. First, I will talk about rebuttals. Okay, now the second opposition has stated and asked about our statement like, is Indonesia is not part of the Asian? We're saying not only Indonesia. Yes, we're not saying not only Indonesia. Yes, Indonesia is a part of Asia. But again, panels, there are more countries in Asia. We are talking about Asian society, not only Indonesia. This means including like China. This means including like countries like China, Korea, etc. And again, about that, how are we going to take care of the weak elderly? In this case, this is where the people who specialize in taking care of the elderly come. And this is where the outsourcing elder care came. This is where the people who specialize in taking care of the elderly, and with that, it's going to benefit for both the elderly and the people who work there too. And again, panels, we're not saying that we are not going to let the elderly work. And then again, we're not saying that taking care of your family is not important.
we did say that people who will work to take care of the parent are also going to get benefits too. Now I will be giving some main ideas about our main ideas about why our side of the house opposes the stigmatization of outsourcing elder care in societies. Now I will be giving two main points of our arguments about why we agree on that. Now first is the connection in outsourcing elderly in Asian. The connection between outsourcing elder care in Asian society. Now our side of the house believes that with this, it shows that in daily Asian cultures, those people still believe that this mindset of like the children had been taken care of, that because children had been taken care of the growing of the parents, the children must repay the things their parents have done to them because when they're older, and which is what usually happens in the Asian societies. Now, how is the mechanism and how is the benefits that will be given to us, especially the government, elderly, and the outsourcing communities? Now, panels, we believe that as the government, by opposing the motion, it could actually bring productivities in Asian society. Now, how is the benefit came to this? Now the actors involved is this like elderly government, like I stated, elderly government, and also people who take care of this elder people. Now, the benefits for the government is actually a lot because more people working, it will bring more productivity and more wages so that it can help the economic state of the countries. Now, for the elderly, it could make their kids to live the life, and then it just means that the children will be working and be more productive. This will be more beneficial because it wouldn't be beneficial, and the elderly would feel like a burden to the children. But of course, we don't want that. Okay, now for the people who works in these outsourcing communities, now of course by taking care of these elderly, it could open up more job vacancies because the people that works here can get more money just by taking care of these elderly people in their daily life. Now, maybe there are some questions in panel's mind. Now, what if these people just work from home? Now, let me say again, panels. Okay, so even if they work from home, there are some. Now, let me state you back because there aren't some jobs that usually requires people to go to their companies and not just work from home, and this will make these workers be confused. Like, how should I do this? Should I take care of the parents or should I go to work? Now, these panels, this is where these outsourcing communities came. This is where they work. This is what for their job is. They can take care of these communities and they can take care of this elderly and bring beneficial to both the elders and the elderly too. And that is why our side of the house believes and we should oppose the stigmatization of outsourcing and elderly care in Asian societies. That is all from me. Thank you.
Okay, I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. I would like to also, I would also like to giving an address to what opposition team has said, what the proposition team has said, that the parents won't feel burden to their kids. How can you assume that the parents would feel like a burden to their kids if they feel or need taking care more? It doesn't mean that parents would feel like they are burdened to their kids if they need to if they need the health more care from health emotionally or physically. Also, the burden they feel, it's not to all parents also. So this is why they're not really giving us an explanation what happens, not just feeling like a burden, but also other feelings that parents would feel or the elders would feel if they're not provided well. Okay, Also, taking care of parents doesn't mean they will lose their jobs. We will giving their attention, just giving time for your parents. It will help them emotionally and physically by giving time for them. Physically meaning that only like giving some taking care of like helping your parents to do their stuff. It's just small jobs. Small jobs is probably just cooking for them or just cleaning their beds. It's just a small one. That small action won't cause you lose your jobs. Also, the emotionally meaning that probably talking to your parents. Talking to your parents is not something you need to talk for like an hour or like for like 5 hours. No, but just talking to them for for like a 10-minute, 15 talks, like your parents, how they're doing, how they're feeling. It's really helpful them emotionally because they feel cared for them. Also, they feel like these kids care about me, that I care about them like they used to. Also, and I will start this clash for why my opposition teams is the argument. In the public way, people will see that this person is being taken care well. This elder person is being taken care well by their kids, especially if the members of the family are busy and are capable too. If they're busy and capable too, they will see that they will have time. Their parents, even they're busy, especially in this Asian society, people tend to think that working, then just letting your parent home is rude and mean, because in their mindset, this member of the family doesn't care about their elders whose fitness is going down by just elders. Elders can be like old that they can't do anything by themselves, or like old but just like confused and emotionally unavailable, like going down. If they're really old, basically can do anything by themselves and don't have anyone to take care of the elders. People will judge the family by not being close enough or not care enough about each other, especially their kids abandoning their parents who take care of their life. So it's such as like this, in this family where the kids is like such an example, they're doctors, and then they're really busy, right? If the doctors still have time, like such a races, that way they can maybe call their parents, asking how their life went, or asking about how they're doing, is providing that emotionally for their parents to have feel like they have attention from their kids. And the neighbors will feel like, oh, even their kids is busy, they still have time for their parents. That means that this family is close enough and care about each other. Also, this I would like to state again from my teammate has said that these elder people sometimes still stuck in an old-fashioned way mindset. They can't run away from it because they grow in that area, in the area in that years where family comes first. So in nowadays, the elder one will think that is their kid working productively 24/7 again and again. They feel abandoned. Not just that, but they feel like they're careless about their parents. So elder people tend to be complex and confused. Meaning, even they don't feel like they're burdened to their kids, they still have these feelings, wanting some attention, wanting by giving for your parents, not just in a way that physically, but also emotionally again. So this is why we totally oppose this idea. We should look something which is more important, taking care of the elder people who needs help. And it's not just giving them attention and just help. It's just going to make you to lose your jobs, make their kids to lose their jobs. It's also provide them the care, the help that they need. They don't get from anybody else, that they can have from anybody else, but sometimes the family connections is connection is too close, and because they grow from each other too. Not just healthcare, but also feeling of careness, love that only family can give it to them. Because they're living together, the connection between each other is important. So this elder feeling like home, like they feel with their people, like they feel with the members of the family, like they feel like connected to each other. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for your time given.
Okay, panel. So I'm standing here again as the reply speaker from the opposition team. So first of all, I would like to giving address to what the proposition team have been stated. So from the second speaker from the proposition team, she said that we from the opposition team offers more benefit than what the proposition team have stated, where they keep talking about increased economy by some people while they taking care of the elders by paying other people to taking care of the elders. Well, that means they're just being more dependent and rely everything on others people. Like that also means they're just being risked by giving chance to the other people to taking care of the elders. That also means that they didn't trust their own capabilities to taking care of the elders, because they're just to rely on others people way, where they just give any chance like giving job to the other people to taking care of the elders. So that means they didn't trust their own capabilities to do such a job. And the question is, how can you guys from the proposition team just give such job to someone to taking care of the elders? Like, I mean, they didn't. We from the opposition team, didn't get clearly explanation about how the mechanism, like from them to taking care of the elders. Like they didn't explain it clearly. The mechanism of like how they will find someone that they can fully trust the taking care of the elders. Like the mechanism, like they didn't explain it clearly. Like where they could find someone that could be trust, that could be taking care of the elders. Because we all know that that everyone, especially like I've stated before, that we're now living in a globalization era where there's not almost people could be trust, but they didn't explain the mechanism or how to do it, like how to find someone that they could be paid for to taking care of the elders. Meanwhile, our side of the house offer more benefit, where from the argument that we have stated before, we stated that people can contribute more on teaching the mechanism, on how to living in this life, in this modern era, from my argument that, like I said before, that we could be, taught or teaching the elders, like I said before, like maybe just, to buy something like from the online shop, like the elders will be struggling to do it. So we, as the younger generation, we have to taking care of them. Like we have to help them. We have to teach them or taught them to how to do it, so they won't be struggling on how to do it. Especially, it also have a correlation with what has been stated from the argument I have said before, that elders people like living in nowadays, they're still stuck, in the old-fashioned way of thinking. Like they will absolutely, be one of the effect that will also keeping them in a struggle to do something, especially like we're now living in a globalization era. So from all of the argument that we from the opposition team have stated, we absolutely deserve to win, because some of our argument that we have been stated, then we offer more benefit than the proposition team have been stated. I think that's all I can deliver. Thank you so much.
Starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Okay, panels. Starting off my speech, I would like to conclude everything that have been said from my first and third speaker. But before all of that, I would like to give you some of the reason why we believe that opposition should lose the debate. First of all, we do not specify our explanation on Japan. We use it as an example of some of the mindset that Asian society has, which was for women to stay at home and take care of the whole family. And second of all, plus, they stated that it would be cruel to let elder people work from home. Yes, which is why we oppose stigmatization of outsourcing elder care in Asian community. We do not set that by letting people step out of the mindset of Asian community that kids should stay at home and work and making public know that it is okay to step out of it and actually go to work. We do not stated that by going to work, these kids would abandon their parents, because that is exactly why these agencies and community who were there to take care of the elders existed. Okay? So we do not state that by telling society that it is okay to step out of the mindset of Asian community and actually go to work means that we also stated that it is okay for you to abandon your elders. No, we were agreeing that it is okay to go to work and let agency take care of your parents. Why? But before I went on to why this is actually one of the arguments upon why our side should win, third, based on the motion, we are talking about the connection between outsourced elder care community and not about making the elder work so we can go to work. It's a completely different thing between agreeing on should we or should we not let people take care of our elder so that we can go to work, and agreeing if going to work and abandoning our parents is cruel or not. It is a totally different thing. And then third of all, they stated that these elders would feel abandoned, feel like a burden to their kids, and they stated that this is one of our downsides, that we mentioned that people would feel a burden to their kids, and they stated that parents wouldn't actually feel burden to their kids. Well, just like what we give the example to you, if it was a case where a whole family contains several kids, then of course, these other kids could go to work and then they could discuss which one of them would stay at home and take care of the parents. But if it happens in a case where parents only have one children, wouldn't they want their kids to go out there and have a life and not just stay at home and take care of them all the time? Which is connect to our fourth argument and why we believe that they should lose the clash, which is that they stated that they would feel like they're not being taken care of. And our answer is that, which is why we offer that stigmatization on outsourcing elders should be opposed, because essentially the parents will still taken care of by these agencies or people who work in the elder care community, who take care of the elder care and not just abandoning them as a whole. And from the current status quo, there are organizations and agencies that provide or could give people that are trustworthy to work with us. Just like what we can see, there are no agencies who posted online about babysitters so they could hire babysitters. People or young couples could hire babysitters to take care of their children. There are also some of these agencies that work on giving people or could help us find people to take care of the elders. And with that, these are some of, in connecting to our second argument, these are some of the benefits given by the proposition and why we believe that we should win based on this argument. First of all, like we stated, what our mechanism here is that we would let people know that it is okay for you to step out of work, because essentially there are other organizations who could take care of the parents, so our benefits here is that we were giving mutual benefits to everyone. Either the people who work in the field of taking care of the elders, they get more jobs. And then secondly, for the kids, they go out to work. So then more people are being more productive and more people are going to work. And then third of all, the elders themselves, they do not get completely abandoned because the kids go to work, but they also hire other people to take care of them. And with all the argument being said, proud to propose. Thank you.